Hey guys, I'm back for another video and welcome to RB Games Engine. Finally, my game has a name and this is version alpha 1.4 and I actually have a place to show that off in the menu. And yeah, so this is the title screen and you might be noticing that the music isn't changing volume in the intro because that's not intro music. That's title screen music. Even though it's the same track that I use in my intro, I guarantee you this is a part of the game. So while it's still playing, I'm going to explore the menus we have now, which I obviously improved to have things such as labels, buttons, and images. So, for example, oh yeah, this area is loaded, by the way, as you can probably see with the little character walking around. Yeah, there he is. Hello. And now it actually selects, shows blue. Just like the Minecraft buttons do when you hover over it with your mouse. So let's go to options. Then you get the option screen, video settings, which is nothing in there. Controls, again, nothing in there yet. And then these done buttons are interesting because they don't, for example, if I were to click this done button specifically, it does not tell you to go to the main menu. It saves all the previous menus you've been to, and it brings you to the most previous one. And when you click on a done button, like if I were to click this one, and then click in here and keep doing this, it still brings me back to the correct location, because when you press done, it gets rid of that menu from your previous menus list, if that makes any sense. And it's about to loop, as you're about to hear. And there you go. So now things are getting kind of annoying, so let's actually load a save. So we got the main save file here. And that's instant load time, by the way. So, yeah, even though that didn't seem seamless, that looping of music there, it's just because that specific track isn't a seamless looping song. So I guarantee if I did have some sort of seamlessly looping song there, it would be unnoticeable at the looping point. Anyway, so let's get back in the menus, do that real quick because I was already showing it off. This is the main menu, so this is different from the title screen menu. So it's got a label up top saying main menu, of course. Now, one thing that broke in this update, I'll explain later, is Gaussian blurring. Again, yeah, this is the second time it's broken, I freaking know. But I'm going to try to get this working by the next update, but for now, we just have the normal background here. So, of course, you have your save game button, which saves the game, and it literally just saved. Like, that's how fast saving is. And I'm in the compiler right now, which is pretty awesome because that's insanely fast anyway. Let's go back to options. So yeah, these done buttons bring you to your previous menu. So I could tell the game to put a done button in a menu and I won't need to tell it specifically to bring you to like the options menu or something. It will just know. So yeah, there's also save and quit the title. Which brings you back to the menu screen, obviously. And I accidentally clicked two buttons at the same time. That was weird. Yeah. That's because I spam clicked. I went like click, click. So it's not like holding down click doesn't activate buttons, so that's good. So anyway, you also have the load screen. So it brings you back to that load save screen. So you can be playing a save and then decide, well, I messed up. Let's go back to that save. And then click on it and it will bring you back even though I didn't even move. But then I could like load the save again. It'll bring me back here. So that's really cool. There's a saving and loading system now, a proper one inside of a menu. So now the game doesn't have to guess which save you're currently in because it already knows because you told it which one to load at the beginning of the game. So that's pretty awesome. So now for probably the biggest update. I know that wasn't even the biggest one. I converted my game to work in the Monogame framework. For those of you that don't know what Monogame is, it's basically Microsoft XNA except updated and maintained to this day by the community. So I am finally working with something that can develop games and is being updated still. So in order to convert it to Monogame, I actually didn't have to do much. I'm still in Visual Basic, which will change actually, I'll explain that later. But basically what I did is I downloaded the Monogame framework and I had to convert all of my audio files to XNB, I think. So that and the fonts and the .fx file for my Gaussian blur, which obviously the conversion hasn't been completed yet because there's some problems because same exact code doesn't work in Monogame, so I had to disable it because otherwise it just has a solid color on the screen. Actually, while I'm talking, I might as well walk through some of the new areas in the game. So I kind of took the whole Pokemon idea and ran with it, because for this demo, I'm just going to keep going, making more areas. So as you can see over here, there's a new thing. And yes, it made a door sound because there's a door there. Technically, this isn't even like... These are two separate areas. See, if I go in the level editor, you can see that there's the edge of the map. And if I go down, there's the edge of that. So I kind of tricked you guys there. So if there wasn't a noise or a jerk in your location, then you might not even know. Well, anyway, this is Route 1 from Pokemon Leaf Green and Fire Red. I so far only put the trees and the pathways because I don't have tall grass or those ledges you can hop over. And I'm not sure if I will add the ledges you can hop over, because that's kind of a Pokemon thing. And then I made it so you can't go up any further from here. And I think it's like Viridian City. No. That's Viridian City. We can't get there yet. I don't know. Is that Viridian? It's been a long time since I played Pokemon. I don't even remember. Anyway, so yeah, those I've updated to Monogame, which means I have a lot of work to do to get this game fully functional. And for that reason, I'm not going to be releasing the download this month, just because it's in such a buggy state that it's almost unplayable. I mean, me showing you guys what I'm doing right now is fine, but if you were to go out and try to like use this game for what it is, then you'd have a lot of problems. So I'm going to wait until next month to release a download. So again, if you want to get it, you have to go to my Patreon page. Well, you don't have to, but if you want the game, that's how you get it for now. So my Patreon basically is like a campaign for now to get my Minecraft server hosted again, because I need to get $30 a month to do that, and I'm not paying out of my own pocket for it anymore because it's expensive. So yeah, so if you want to get the game, that's how you do it. I think I've been saying this every single episode since like 7. So there you go. So the next update is, if I were to go up to a sign like this one famously saying, "This is a sign," now it has a background image, which again doesn't really look as good as it could, but it's better than a white screen. So we're making progress. So it's got this weird little pattern that I made in GIMP real quick, using like shades of tan, and then you got the same thing over here, and the inventory has it as well. And it's a different image, but it uses a similar pattern. And as you can see, the inventory screens are awesome now because it's got a background, and it's not just a white screen. And this little red box is centered around the text. I don't know if you noticed that last time. My chair is very squeaky today. So another thing I did that I can't really show you guys is I organized the sounds a little bit better in the file system. So it makes a bit more sense having menu sounds instead of just putting everything in a folder called environment. I don't think any of you would have known that unless you actually downloaded the game and looked in the files. But, just better organization is always good. And actually, one thing to note is that as of now, things are looking up for this game, because now that I've updated to Monogame, I can actually very quickly convert this game to work for not only Windows, but Linux, Mac, Android, Apple, so iOS. I think there's even a Chrome thing. You can even have like a inside browser sort of thing going on there. And Android, I think I said Android. There was one other thing too. There was like, what was it? Oh yeah, it was the Ouya. And I can also go on Xbox 360 and PlayStation 4. And Xbox One support will be coming very soon. I think you can see that in the Monogame forums that they're going to update it very soon to do that. So that's cool. Now, one thing I'm going to say is that since this game is like, I'm basically in the middle of a big update. So, I mean, I didn't add a whole lot to the game other than that, but I do have some commands and a little test for something, but I'll show that later. So let's do this. /log on Bob. And wait, I just made a player join the game. And I have my Xbox controller, so I can do that and move this guy at the same time. So now we have Bob, and he's over here. So I could also use the command line, just be like TP Bob 30virus. Can't spell. Boop, and there's Bob. Okay, now we can make him go explore up here. Boop. And now he's out in Route 1 doing stuff. And then I could just be like /kick Bob. And then Bob was kicked. So, yeah, multiplayer is still working, and I need to figure out a way to organize getting more players into the game other than using a command. I'm thinking I'd do something like, at first I visualized something like the Call of Duty party system where you can just kind of like invite your friend and it shows them under you, but I don't think I want to do that just yet. I don't know. We'll figure it out, but I might put it in the controls screen. So if I were to go into like options, control, oh, maybe there'd be a third thing, like video settings, controls, and then like maybe a button like players, and then you could like add or remove players in your game for split screen, because that'd be kind of cool. But also I'd like something in the menu so people don't have to do that every time they log on and I have a friend. So we'll see, but for now that's how you log people on in the middle of the game. And then yeah, so the game actually supports mid-game new people joining. And again, LAN and online is not a thing yet. It probably won't be a thing in the next update either, but maybe in May, possibly. We'll see. But again, I need to get this game public ready by November, I think. So I got to get on that. Make this game fully functional, and multiplayer isn't my biggest priority right now because everything just kind of works with this system I got here. So I don't need to worry about it at the moment. Okay, so one command I did add in the last update that I did not show off was the /setBrush command. And then what it does is it sets your brush size. So for example, I could set it to be 2x4. And as you can see, now I got a rectangle that's 2x4 that I can place down this. And I could still use the middle click function and place down that. And I could also be like set brush 3030. I don't know why the hell I'd want to do that, but bah! Now the whole 30x30 square here. Oh, there's no walking sound there. That was really weird. And I don't like what I just did, so main save load. There we go. Loaded save. And it's instantaneous because Monogame debugs things differently from XNA, and it takes advantage of the hardware you have. And since I have amazing specs on my computer, it just freaking goes crazy. And apparently I'm using 3 gigs of RAM right now, which is another thing that I think it's taking advantage of. Is it's yeah, I remember what XNA did is it would have a maximum of 128 megs. So obviously Monogame is updating for the current times because I feel like the average person has 4 gigs of memory anyway. So yeah, but again, I'm going to optimize the game soon because right now it's in a very unoptimized state. So don't get all crazy thinking it's a minimum of 3 gigabytes. Oh, here's something new. I also decided to have an inside to the player's house, which is obviously not completed yet. It's kind of a work in progress because, again, I'm not really prioritizing on making this map because it's all for testing purposes, but it's nice to have. Yeah, my voice just died. So there's 2 more things I want to show you. First one being there's a new command called list saves, and then there you go. It lists the saves that are currently in the game, and there's only 2. There's main save and quick save. Now you can do the /save game command and then put in some random name, and it will come up. So, for example, I could just be like create area test 200 by 200, and I could just walk around this test area. Then I could just be like /save game test, and then if I do /list saves, you can see test comes up. But not only that, but if I were to go into load save, test comes up right underneath main save. So I could load main save and be like, you know what, how about we go back to test. Let's go back to main save. So now you can have 2 saves going at the exact same time, and it loads instantaneously, which is still absolutely incredible. I've never seen this in any other game where it's just literally like, boom, you're there. Like the save just loads instantaneously. Freaking great. So I'm also planning on making it so that doors are remade completely because I don't like doors the way they are because they make a sound and they do weird things. So yeah, I'm gonna fix that too. But anyway, the last command, or yeah, it's kind of 2 commands, but I'll just call it 1 command for now. So what I can do here is, for example, for example purposes, let's draw a little. Actually, I'm going to draw a smiley face right there. Now you're probably like, why are you making a smiley face? Because I'm gonna do this. Use duplicate. And then I'm just going to be like, blah, blah, and then do /flip Y. And it flipped it upside down. Now we have an upside down happy face. And I would demonstrate flipping it on the X, but since it's a symmetrical thing, then it won't look any different. So it'd just be like /flip X. And nothing happened. But something did happen, it just didn't look any different. So a good example would be if I just did this. And then if I were to do /flip X. And then there you go. So now that makes a little bit more sense. So you can actually see the selections kind of like, you know, different. So I could just be like this, and then I could do slash flip X again, and then make a perfectly symmetrical thing, and it looked really weird. The only thing is I don't know where exactly I placed it. I think it was there. Yeah, so there you go. So that's a thing, and I'm also working on a slash rotate command, which has been really weird with large objects like houses. So I don't know, because if you don't know, these objects don't have a sideways version, so they're just kind of moved, but they're still facing forward, so I don't see. I might not even add the rotate command, or I might just for tile purposes, but for objects it'd just be weird. Anyway, so that's it. This is a short update because, again, most of the work was converting this thing over to Monogame. Now, here's the big thing for the next update. I'm going to be completely reprogramming this game in C#. So yeah, the 3,000 lines of code that have gone into this game so far, and it's a lot more than what you would think is 3,000 lines of code because I compact my code a lot. Probably to the point where it's hard to read, but I do that. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be taking all my Visual Basic code, sticking it into an online code converter, and then I'm going to have it all become C# so that it is a lot easier to use with Monogame because, as a lot of you programmers out there know, Monogame is pretty much exclusively C#. And I'm using a modified version of a Monogame template right now just to run it in Visual Basic, and I'm sick and tired of it because I only have the option to do Windows that way, and if I want to be able to use it on other platforms, and if I want to update it, I'd like to have it in C#, so I don't have to make custom templates myself. So that's what I'm going to do. It's going to be very, very complicated, and I'm going to have to kind of relearn how to do a lot of these things, because I know a lot of C and C++ and Java and Visual Basic, and a decent amount of C#, so, I mean, it shouldn't be that bad, but yeah. So I'm going to be completely translating it to a new programming language, which is kind of crazy in itself. But anyway, that's it. So again, if you want to download this game, you're going to be able to get the most recent version from last month at the download link below, which is not really a download link, it's to my Patreon page in which you can get to the download link. And next month I will be releasing this as version 1.5 for you guys to play around with, and it's going to be pretty amazing. So that's it. So, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys later.